When you give an orc some of your pork, where do you end up getting the baby from? Let's dive into the mating manual orc entry. And all this lore is in the world where my mangas take place, and no, it's not got anything to do with Goonin. They're actually beautiful, heartwarming stories. But I digress. Let's talk about orc Goonin. And for the sake of this video, we are only going to be talking about when orc slong interacts with orc vajaja. Because as you can see, orc sperm operates very differently than human sperm and would not usually survive the sperm dome in order to make it to the flow vines that would allow them to touch the eggs. The first thing that we need to talk about is orc women can stay continuously preggers. Yeah, you heard that right. She can get pregnant while also having a fetus already in the uterus. And that's all thanks to how the flow vines and eggs actually work. Because the flow vines, when an egg gets, fertilized, the really cool thing is the fact that the egg stays on the flow vine as it gestates. However, it closes off that entrance, creating a dead end for sperms and also create a dead end chemical that would activate the aggression of other sperm when they hit that dead end. But whenever one of the eggs is populated and develops an egg, there's actually a special sphincter right here that connects the uterus to the vagina called the utva. And the utva normally stays closed with a few exceptions, aka whenever it's flushing out the system from the sperm dome to the cervix flow, through the flow vines, and into the cervix whenever it needs to basically clean everything out. That's when the utva actually opens up and creates a discharge to basically flush the system of all the spermicide that is created within the sperm dome. And anytime the cervix gate is activated via basically something pushing it open, it does activate the whole process that ends up flushing the system, whether something is deposited in it or not. So the ultimate question is, well, where do babies come from? Well, the truth is, when a baby develops in here and is ready to go, it actually pops off the flow vine and ends up coming out the utva. The utva is incredibly stretchy, and it will actually bypass the sperm dome and all these other organs and just literally go uterus, utva, and then pop out right here. So it actually doesn't really interact with the other eggs at all. However, there is a birth complication situation that can happen with the utva, called the utva bleed out, which is when basically this thing doesn't seal or heal right and the orc can actually end up bleeding out from this area. And in addition to this situation, because multiple fetuses can grow at once, if a baby does pop out, the utva is still healing, there are instances where an unready fetus will actually pop off the flow vine and fall literally out. And another concerning issue that can affect the female orc who is pregnant with multiple fetuses at once is something called a fetal war, which is basically where one of these little boys will start acting up and really moving around and shaking, and it can in fact hit another egg, which could damage that fetus and basically cause birth defects or, a situation where they don't pop out breathing, if you know what I mean. Do you remember earlier how when I was talking about the cervix gate being activated causes a flushing of the system? Well, did you know once a year that the flow vine along with the eggs actually will break down and basically regrow from the stem? But hey, all this lore is coming from the mating manual, and up next we're going to be talking about dragon babies. So make sure you stay on top of the lore for the mangas by checking it out in the bio or description. All of them are free to read. But if you're more of a physical person, I do have physical books here, and while supplies are limited, go ahead and grab one. Also, if you want to see the in-depth development of the mating manual, go grab a Ruby Gold sub or get an original character in the series by grabbing Diamond.